So I'm having issues getting. I think it's picking up everything I'm saying. So like, we were talking through strategy, and hey, we know exactly what you just said. So it's like, well, hopefully they weren't listening to what our plans were. But yeah, yep, yep. I believe we do. So we should be good to go.
Okay. All right. Well, so how did you guys feel about your draft coming in then?
I think we felt pretty good. We were hoping to get our. We wanted to really prioritize Mordekaiser for our mid laner, and so I think we felt pretty good. We're on pretty comfort picks all around. We were able to get a bot lane we're pretty comfortable with, and so I think we felt pretty good about our draft. How about you guys?
About the same. Yeah, I think we'll have a few question marks, and I think that's what's always kind of fun about our kids as I'm talking through. They're not too shy about just picking something up during draft too if they see a matchup they like, which is kind of fun.
Yep.
So I know last week when we were getting ready for Newman, our bot lane was really wanting to play Senna Tom Kench,
Yep.
and I wasn't really feeling too comfortable with it. But then this week we looked at your pool, especially with Caitlin Morgana, and we thought like, oh, we could maybe play into that, or
Yep.
see what else they got and kind of see how it goes. So hopefully the kids should have fun, and it should be a couple good games.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get a couple good ones. Senna Tom Kench being a fairly new lane. I don't think we in a competitive match have ever seen it. I think our bot lanes played against it and ranked or in a normal match. But as far as that goes, this will be my first seeing it in a high school match outside of pros, so it'll be exciting. So
yeah, well, it'll be fun, and especially too with these kind of being a little more scrimmages,
Yep.
a little more chance kind of play around with some stuff, see how it works for later. So
for sure.
It should be kind of fun, and especially with the Mordekaiser mid, it's always fun when you can kind of take a champion that's traditionally top lane only, and
Yep.
get your kids to kind of flex them around and play them in a game like this.
Yeah, and we tried this against Upper Iowa last week, and we had a lot of success with it, and so we wanted to try and flex it again and see how it goes. And we're not sure how the Echo matchup is on it, and we know that Crazy Roger's pretty good on Echo, so we'll see how that matchup goes for us. For those of you that don't know, we are now into a 3-minute spectator delay, so we will kind of start to talk about the matchups a little bit and talk through this and see exactly what their thought process is going into the match. And that way there's no competitive advantage to anyone that's trying to watch live that can give info to any of the other kids that are playing in the match. So hopefully you're hanging out with us through this, and we're going to be in about 2 minutes here.
Yeah, so if you want to take time out, you want to go through and just kind of run through your lineup and kind of the kids, because I know you got 3 of your kids are going on to play next year, so that's pretty exciting for you. But hopefully we'll have some of the St. Ansgar people watching that aren't as familiar. If you want to go through and run through and introduce your kids, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, we can do that. In the top lane, we have the great Vern, that is Chase Hallback. He's a senior this year. He will be going to Upper Iowa University to play esports in the fall. In the jungle, we have Andrew Thayer on Nunu and Willem. He is a junior for us, and so he'll be back next year. In the mid lane, we have Hootie Plays, that is Darius Eriks. He is also going to Upper Iowa on an esports scholarship. In the bot lane, we have Elijah Bloom Boy. He's our ADC. He's our damage in the bot lane. He is on next year going to Hawkeye on a esports scholarship as well. And then finally, our support, we have Raven Cornwell. She is a sophomore and plays our mage supports most frequently. So that is the Osage lineup for tonight.
I do want to count one thing. As we are both, doing a lot of this together, I've really enjoyed watching your group, because I watch you guys play Upper Iowa. I watch you guys play normal from Illinois, and as you kind of talked about, I even watched you guys when you went out to Illinois and played in that tournament to do a little scouting before the season even started. And it's been a lot of fun watching your group. I think they're very talented and play together very well. So I've really enjoyed having this, close contact with you guys, and then also being able to watch and compete against while also support. So I think that's been fun this season.
Yeah, and I really enjoy watching. I've talked to your jungler Jack quite a few times, and just the fact that he's able to balance all the sports he does as well as esports, I think that's a really cool thing. And Crazy Roger is just crazy talented. The kid's I mean, we watch him play all the time. Our kids are always looking at, okay, what new champion is he playing? Like we saw he was playing Italy in the mid lane today, and I'm just like, would never think to pull out some of those crazy picks. And so it'll be really interesting to see. Probably, I would say that's our marquee matchup for tonight, wouldn't you, Coach? Is the mid lane between Hootie Plays and Crazy Roger?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's one thing that's actually fun about our teams too, is that they're mirror each other pretty closely, because I think top lane's always been a close match. It's always fun to watch, Great Vern go against Hobgoblin, and I know that's what we're kind of waiting to see, because both of them aren't really afraid to play different champions. So let's say, we kind of waited for both of our top laners to pick last to kind of see what was going to happen with that. And then again, our mid laners are both very talented too, and so it'll be kind of fun. And our junglers are very similar champion pool too. So I mean, it's just kind of a lot of the same matches. I think you guys definitely have an advantage in the bottom lane with all the experience and the talent there. Where I think, as we talked about last week on our stream, that Singebag, Griffin Carlson, this is his 4th week playing ADC for us. I mean, he played a little bit before, but he had to kind of make a quick transition. So that's why you see him on Tom Kench today, which worked well because he used to play that when he played top lane. So that's one of kind of those picks that we can bring down for him. And that's one reason why we picked it, because he already kind of had the experience on it. So that worked well for us.
For sure. And Tom Kench is actually, when I have time to play, he's one of my favorites to play in the top lane. There's just something about the champion. He's a lot of fun. So, but ADC, I've never tried him in that position. I know that's, like I said, it's something we're seeing more and more in college and pro, especially with Senna. So it'll be really interesting to watch that with Bloom Boy on one of his best picks in Misfortune, as well as Raven on by far her best champions there out there in the bot lane. So
it'll be fun. One thing I want to comment too before we get into the game, it's also been fun going through this with you, which I don't know how much of the background between both of us, but both of us come from the traditional athletics background. We're both coaches, and so I've really kind of enjoyed going through this experience with you too, when we're talking about how, like, to scout practices and all that stuff. And so we're bringing a lot of the same stuff that we use, both of us being basketball coaches, kind of setting up our seasons and practices and game plans and all that. So it's been fun going through that shared experience with you as well.
Well, and I think that, the success of both of our programs, it's not a one-man job. So it's been really nice to be able to collaborate and work through that with you guys, and bounce ideas off you guys, and help each other out with different things as time has gone on, because again, small schools like we are, we don't have a ton of people that know much about esports. So it's really, I think, important that we tap our resources when we have those. So, all right, it looks like we're coming onto the rift here. Okay, I was getting a little worried to see Chase has been having some internet issues, so we'll see. Are we going to get an invade here?
And that will be interesting too for those of us. Again, I know, like, with everything going on with schools, me and you are commenting this both from home, and you're also commenting. Like, all the players are playing from their homes and stuff too, keeping safe distance. So it's been nice that we can kind of keep competing and keep this regular as well when we're getting back into actually competing and having the kids work and play together. So that's been a lot of fun for us doing this.
And that's actually one of the most important things I think that esports presents us, is the opportunity to compete in a weird situation like this, where a lot of other times we're not able to, traditional high school sports are not able to compete right now, but we've been able to fully compete with esports so far. I know we've both played quite a few of our official matches and are just kind of waiting to see what the official word is on that as well. So, all right, looks like St. Ansgar is starting on the blue buff. So for those of you that don't know, the jungle, we have 3 main lanes here. We have top lane, we have mid lane, and we have bottom lane. And then we have a jungler that kind of floats between all the different spots. And it looks like the Green Devil started on the red buff. And St. Ansgar chose to start blue.
Yeah, so pretty traditional start. I know we were scouting you guys. We were getting ready. You kind of saw us all grouped up in the bottom lane, getting
Yep.
ready for an invade because we
Yep.
know you like to do that, but
We
no,
do.
our team just decided to kind of keep it as is. And
A lot of trading there in the mid lane between Hootie Plays and Crazy Roger. It looks
it'll
like
be
far and
interesting to
fairly
see how
even.
a lot of these matchups play out because, again, like I said, I don't think too many of us have seen Echo into Mordekaiser or Senna,
Right.
so it'll be kind of interesting to see early games. They're kind of trying to figure each other out. And ooh, and yeah, first blood from
First blood for Elijah in the bot lane. So Misfortune with the kill. And a lot of trading there in the mid lane. There's lots of pinging going on. Not sure what all the pings was about. It looks like it was a ping in the top lane. So lots of action early in this matchup.
Well, that's where we'll have to see too, because I think a lot of your lanes will probably have advantage early game. We'll have to see how.
Oh, good return kill there by Fallen Saint on Hootie Plays in the mid lane. We had a feeling mid lane would probably be the focus early game with the Mordekaiser, so we will see if Hootie is able to play through that.
Top lane just kind of trading back and forth again, trying to feel each other out. And your bottom lane's got a lot of pressure down there, which is probably kind of be expected with Senna and Tom Finch, where they're just trying to farm up. And you can see Senna's trying to get what's called souls there, because that gives her advantage in the late game with her range.
Well, and I think, it's a little bit different in philosophy as far as bot lanes, especially where your bot lane is extremely late game focused, where we want to focus more early and mid game because we feel like bot lane is one of our strengths. And so it'll be a very interesting dynamic there as we're a hard trade there on the top lane, and Great Vern is able to get the kill on Timo.
Tower, that was a nice play by him to flash in there and
Yeah.
get that kill.
Well, and the bleed, I thought maybe the bleed would get it, and he wasn't able to. So, but, did we get we freeze? It looks like we dropped a few frames there, so I apologize about that.
Looks like bottom lane is just farming up,
Yep.
trying to put a little pressure while you're bottom lane back. Same thing where it looks like Timo might be walking into a surprise here.
Little
Top lane, if you look on the mini map.
Oh, they see him there. You must have had that warded because I see that the Timo is aware of the situation there.
A lot of trading going on in the mid lane. Talk about that kind of being the big matchup, and they're really kind of testing each other's limits there to be kind of where they're at.
And Mordekaiser is just really there's not much he can do early until he has that ultimate, and he really hits that power spike hard at level 6. So Echo is definitely going to win those trades early, so it'll be interesting to see once he gets to level 6 what kind of trades we're able to have.
That's where, and for those that looks like we're going for a Drake here now. Sorry, I'll hold that thought till later.
No, you're fine. It looks like Osage is going to contest.
Come and challenge it.
We might have our first team fight, or the Green Devils might just be backing away. Zeroth looking to poke. Misfortune with this slow.
Collapse there and keep going.
And there's a snowball. There's a kill by Misfortune. Let's see if we get any follow-up here. Fallen Saint. Looks like he's in the Delth Realm. The ult by Mordekaiser. Now it looks like the Green Devils aren't sure who to focus. They've focused on a double kill by Echo. That was a very nice double kill. But it looks like the Green Devils are trying to clean up the Tom Kench here. Or if they'll just go for the Drake. But it looks like the Green Devil jungler fell. Or no, the Green Devil jungler is now back to respawn. So there is the kill on the Tom Kench.
Yep, found him. He was trying to kind of sneak away and get into the bush where they can't be seen, but he wasn't able to make it there. So that was a nice team fight by Osage there. And
end up 4 for 2, I believe, in that team fight. So we'll take that trade there. And we got our gold on our carry with Misfortune, so we'll see what we're able to do with that. For those of you at home that don't understand, the 400 down here over Misfortune's character, that is a bounty for kills, or for playing well in the early game. So we'll see if we have any more bounties or what we have. More trading in the mid lane.
And those mid laners are really checking each other, just kind of skill check all the time, seeing what they're going to be able to, because again, both are very talented.
Oof. That was, Xerath overstayed a little bit, and it looks like we're probably going to be able to, St. Ansgar's probably going to be able to take the Drake.
Yeah, that pick on Dareth there, I think, really kind of helped her. Looked like she was trying to get some vision there, and got a little bit too far, and it was a nice root by Senna there to kind of slow her down, and it's like transferred to a first dragon for St. Ansgar.
We may have a team fight brewing as St. Ansgar is slowly taking the dragon down. Can Osage get there in time? No, they are not, but we may have a team fight immediately after, and it looks like the Nunu might go down. We have back-to-back stuns. Oh, Echo goes down. We were not able to see that on camera, but it looked like the Great Vern was able to use his ultimate on Echo, and it looks like the Green Devils traded 2 for nothing in that team fight.
Well, that was a very nice follow by Osage, where they knew they were at the Drake. Osage got the Drake, and then with everyone being a little bit lower health, they collapsed very well timed there to secure the kills and kind of mitigate that advantage they got when they got the Drake.
And if we're looking at gold, it looks like Osage with a slight 2,000, just over 2,000 gold lead so far. It's still very early, so that's not a surprise. And it looks like they're going to collapse on Jack Sievert. He's into the Delth Realm. Who he plays gets the kill. There's a ult in the bot lane. And it looks like Crazy Roger with the follow-up. We have a jungle for jungle kill.
Just going back and forth. I know it's with 9 minutes into the game and having 14 kills already between the two teams. There's a lot of action going on between these two.
Well, and that's kind of not really been our style here the last few matches. So it's interesting to see this hard, aggressive style out of our team today, because we've been trying to focus on CS and focus on laning, and I know that's been a focus for your team as well. So I think a little bit, the rivalry comes out a little bit, and we're probably seeing a little bit of that today.
I think definitely both teams kind of looking to kind of make the big play, kind of the fast you play. And they know that it's, again, being streamed between the two communities. You might have a little more people watching, trying to show off to your friends a little bit, so that definitely plays into it. So. And hopefully we can settle into the mid game here, and hopefully we can see some good laning and things out. Looks like we might have another mid jungle skirmish brewing here, because there's already there's lots of kills combined between the two so far. So you look too when you look at the scoreboard, it's kind of going the way you hoped it would at the beginning, and kind of way we thought, where your bottom lane has a pretty big advantage down there with being up 6 kills to our 0 and us having 4 deaths and with you. So it looks like that's one of the things we're trying to avoid, but hopefully we're able to keep kind of trying to get advantages with the dragons, and looks like we're trying to get Rift here now too.
And Rift has fallen, so St. Ansgar so far doing a great job with objectives. They're up 2-0 in objectives so far on Osage. So we'll have to see if Osage can fight back there.
And so that's also for you, so that don't watch as much. Sometimes you can kind of see, again, like we talked about the gold. Why the gold is such a big deal is that even though you may have more objectives or more kills, the gold allows you to buy items, and then those items will make your champion stronger. So even though you might get a lot of kills, having the gold is a big part of it.
Well, and for me, it looks like a flash there in the mid lane. Now we have a skirmish in the top lane. For me, it's just interesting to see the growth in these two teams, even in the last 2 weeks. And Great Vern with that solo kill there in the top lane on Teemo.
Nice play. Teemo was trying to move around and trying to get out of it, but it was a little too strong and too much damage.
And we really liked Chase on Darius the last Upper Iowa match. He did really good on the Darius against the Upper Iowa top laner, and now he's off to a good start for us on there. In a double ult by Osage's bot lane, it looks like they're able to take out the Tom Kench.
Very good coordination between the two of them, starting out with Misfortune to get him really low and follow up with the Xerath with the long range to finish him off there when they're past the tower.
So if we're looking at laning so far as CS, it looks like St. Ansgar has a slight advantage in the CS in the top lane, a 10 CS advantage in the jungle. Osage has about a 20, almost 30 CS advantage in the mid lane, and about a 40 CS lead, or 20 CS lead between the two in the bot lane. And it looks like Elijah is able to pick up another kill for Osage. He's now 5-0-3. He's off to a great early game for us. Skirmish in the jungle. Looks like they're trying to attack the Bully Bear. Good snowball, good flash. And it looks like Echo will allow Volley Bear to escape. Oh, there's a flash by Hootie, and he's able to get the kill. Let's see if there's a follow-up by Crazy Roger.
A nice play there by your mid laner Hootie to come in there and finish that off there.
And it looks like a 3-on-1. There's the ult out of Echo. It looks like Darius may have used the Mordekaiser ult. Looks like we're going to the top lane. And Teemo with the shutdown.
Nice play by Teemo there. He's a lot smaller, so he's really got to work on his positioning up there because he does not have the hit points to contest with Darius one-on-one, and so he's able to get pretty good position there because that's one thing about Teemo. Teemo can actually go invisible, so even we can see him. The opposing team can't, so he can kind of hide in plain sight there to get good positioning on the opposing player there, which looks like he did.
And we may have another team fight brewing. It's been every dragon so far. We've had a team fight. And it's a 3-on-3 right now. Andrew Thayer still chunking down that dragon. Wilson Ansgar commit to the fight. Hootie with his E. Osage is able to get the dragon. Volley Bear with a nice initiation. The Tom Kench came in. There's an ulti. Tom Kench is melted down. And will the Xerath ult be able to follow up? It doesn't appear so. And more trading in the top lane. The top lane is just, great. Vern able to use his ulti and get a trade there.
You got a little too forward there, and it was a really nice play by Vern, knowing the amount of damage he could go in and go and finish the kill there. Got him out of position a little bit.
Yep. It appeared, do we have a lane swap in the works, or is Osage just looking to pressure the mid lane tower? Hard to tell.
So it looks like with the bottom
is open.
Down for that, so it looks like Osage must be trying to spread their pressure throughout the map and kind of get a little bit ahead. It looks like Echo's coming in behind.
Crazy Roger looking to attack the AD carry, and Elijah able to kite and stay alive. Nice play by the ADC there for Osage. And Osage has pushed the gold lead to just over 7,000 here in the mid game here. From 10 to 15 minutes has been our strong point all season, and it appears tonight is no different.
It's a very nice coordination on Osage's part as well too there, because it looked like Roger would have had the 1 versus 1 there, but then everybody did a very nice job of being in position to collapse and make sure to keep his fortune safe, keep your carry ahead, and then put our mid laner a little bit further behind. It's very nice coordination on Osage's part, just kind of been the theme tonight so far.
Well, and that would have been a huge kill for Roger on the Echo. Because of the shutdown gold, he would have gotten an extra 900 gold by killing off the Misfortune there, and that would have been about a half of an item on the Echo. So
All right, now both teams are playing, or it should be kind of below. There's no really objectives to contest right now. And just as I say, that looks like a lot of action.
A lot of action in the mid lane.
And
And down goes Crazy Roger. It looks like we may have more action here in the top lane. Andrew Thayer with the snowball with Nunu. We got a 2-on-1. Are they going to waste any ults? One ult was used. Chase Hallback with his 4th kill on the Darius.
again, a very nice play by, you saw great burn waiting in the bush there. I don't think Timo had any idea there. He was just worried about Nunu coming in. And then top laner came out just at the right time, and both of them secured the kill and made it look fairly easy.
And the lane.
At this point in the game, it's been very hard for St. Ansgar to kind of come back with the amount of gold lead that they have and most lanes being ahead. It's going to have to really, St. Ansgar's going to have to regroup and try to get a very important pick, but otherwise it looks like there's a lot of pressure being put on by your group right now on the map.
Yeah, and if they could get a kill on either nice play there by the Tom Kench, and down there's exactly what I was about to say. It looks like, and they get another kill, so St. Ansgar picks up 1,200 extra gold there with 2 shutdowns, and that's the name of the game. We're talking about finding a pick, and they were able to find 2.
That's where it is, especially with high school kids too, especially where you get ahead and if those towers gone, well then you get a little further up, but it makes it easier for teams to kind of prize you because it's hard to control vision when you're that far forward.
Yep. And that's really been a focus of ours so far. Oh, and Hootie goes into the Death Realm against the Senna. That's probably not a matchup Senna wants right now. And Hootie plays with the kill. And Hootie decides to stay in the ult.
Ken's trying to chase him
The
down.
Tom Kench chase. Oh, blast cone. Is he going to be able to get another kill here? Will Osage be able to collapse? And it looks like Crazy Roger with a follow-up kill. This is probably not a team fight Osage wants right now. Oh, good engage. Good follow-up engage. Chain of ult there. The Darius R and the Misfortune R really did work for Osage.
It was very nice team coordination there where it kind of looked like St. Ansgar felt like they had the advantage,
Yep.
and then they came out, and again here, St. Ansgar is going to be a little bit out of position.
But Osage wastes 2 ults there and comes away with nothing. They are able to zone away St. Ansgar and push them away, but not anything to come of it. It looks like we're going to battle around Dragon once again. It's really been, team fights are on objective so far. It's been the name of the game.
That's where it was. Again, even though it looks like your team didn't get much out of that team fight, it looks like they got accomplished. So where they're able to push them away, get a little bit of pressure there, and then open it up for another Dragon.
So we talked about maybe the match slowing down a little bit, but now that Baron has spawned on the map, we will see if either team will decide to try and go towards Baron on the top side of the map there, or if they will take it a little bit slower. And it looks like Hootie Plays has found the volley bear. Will he be able to clean it up? He does.
Very nice play. He's just doing a very nice job of using the Fog of War. And again, if you can see the mini-map in the bottom right, wherever it's darker there, that's where neither team has any vision.
Yep.
And so you look, St. Ansgar does not have a lot of vision in their own jungle, so they're getting caught out here a lot now because they're kind of going in without the correct information. So Osage has done a very nice job using it.
And it looks like different champions starting to get their second items to... We're going to start seeing some damage spikes on our carries, especially here in the mid lane. It looks like both of them have... Oh, and we have the Varus ult on... Or, not Varus, the Xerath ult on Echo trying to take down Crazy Roger, who appears would be the best win condition right now for St. Ansgar.
Looks like both teams are starting to try to clear out vision, get a little vision in the jungle. Both their plans have kind of tried to be to set up and try to get Baron or just keep pushing lane. So when they do get that Baron, they can get a big advantage off of that buff.
Yep. And this is something with our team. Oh, and it looks like Great Vern with the kill. And it looks like, are we going to get a secondary kill, a double kill for the Great Vern?
Yeah, very nice pick. If you look, Stena was going out there without the information, trying to put down vision.
And a 2-on-1 here in the top lane. And Crazy Roger falls. Can the Teemo do the job here? And it looks like Mordekaiser with a double kill.
That's the case where Mordekaiser is. If you look, he's a couple levels ahead.
Yep.
And so you can take that 2 versus 1 there because he has a big enough advantage. Osage will be getting their first inhibitor and possibly second inhibitor here now.
Yep. And it looks like hopefully they're going to back away here, but they look to be pushing in the wave some more. This is a definition. Are they going to overstay here? Are they going to back away? There is a misfortune ult, and they are able to get the jungler.
And again, that takes away a lot of St. Ansgar's engage, where that's kind of their big HP champion that can run in and make some things happen. It looks like Osage is looking to end the game here.
And there's a Senna ult, and there's a shutdown. Will Osage back away, or will they keep fighting? There's a Xerath ult. The snowball hits, and down goes Teemo. Crazy Roger uses the Echo ult. And it looks like Osage is going to back away here.
Very nice push by Osage. I believe you guys got 2 turrets and 2 inhibitors there, and then even a Nexus turret there.
Yep.
So very good play from Osage there. That's going to be very difficult for St. Ansgar to come back here. They're really going to have to slow this game down and make it take at least again another 5 minutes here for the inhibitors to spawn back in.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. This has really been, in our match against Mid-Prairie, we struggled with ending games a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if we're able to effectively end this one, or if we run into some issues with getting picked. So we've really been trying to work on that as a team. Looks like Hootie Plays is going to go in on the St. Ansgar bot lane. Yes, very good save. And it looks like Tom Kench went into the Death Realm, and Hootie Plays is able to get the Tom Kench. Looks like Osage is preparing to siege in the mid lane. Crazy Roger looking for a flank. And Hootie Plays may just try and end this himself.
With the Xerath ult throwing him away, that is what it looks like is going to happen here. Now it'll be very difficult for St. Ansgar at this point to slow this down.
And there's the Misfortune ult, and a very effective Misfortune ult. Hootie Plays looking to make some kills on the Nexus, and it looks like there is game 1 going to Osage.
So again, that's one thing that's really nice. If you notice at the end of the game, all the players at the end are putting GG, even though it was a both teams were working really hard, and Osage kind of ended up coming out with a little easier victory there. Both teams were telling each other good game and looking to compete and showing good sportsmanship.
So if we look at the statistics here, if I can get it to do what I want it to do, looks like the main damage was where we expected it to be going into the match. It looked like Hootie Plays in the mid lane and Elijah Bloom at ADC, as well as Teemo and Crazy Roger on the Echo. So any last minute things before we go into a quick break here, Coach?
Well, again, I think it was very similar to kind of what we talked about happening, where the mid lane matchup was going to be kind of the premier matchup, and Mordekaiser, again, did a very nice job, and we kind of predicted your bot lane being very aggressive in the early game and kind of pushing that right away, and it looked like your bot lane did a very nice job of putting the pressure on early and getting ahead and staying ahead, and then same with Mordekaiser just being too strong at the end, where we'd even have 2 people going at him and it would work. And then also, again, even though the stats might not show up for Nunu the jungler, you did a very nice job of working with and getting the knockups to provide engages for your team, and worked really well with your top laner there to get Great Vern ahead, who again also you just look across the board, is a very nice match from your team.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that match out of our Green Devils, and we'll have to see what our next match has in store for us. I think the Green Devils are going to make a substitution for this game, but we'll have to see. I'll have to go talk to the team and see what they decided to do. So we're going to take a few minutes here, everybody, to talk to our teams and get the second match set up. It looks like Osage has got the custom match started up, so we'll take about a 3 to 4 minute break here, and we will go from there. Freeze. Some issues with the Pro Draft client, so, but. Yep. Yep.
Top lane, so now we're putting them in the top lane for this game.
Yep. We noticed that in reordering, so we weren't sure exactly. Didn't have that 100% prep for pick ban, so it's going to be interesting to see because it keeps us on our toes a little bit. So.
Well, and I'm not sure those guys were 100% prepared for it either, so we'll have to see how it goes. But again, I think that's one thing that is, again, what's nice about our group is with our top lane now with Singebag is that was his position. He's put the most time in, and then our ADC now Hobgoblin has played this game enough that he has experience with a little bit of ADC jungle and top, so he's kind of comfortable in any of those roles. And I think with a lot of our kids, that is the case where they're not professional level players, so they like to have fun and play different roles, and so they have experience with a lot of different roles that probably could be switched around if we needed them to.
For sure. Yep, for sure. It looks like did my client freeze? Or the stream froze, it looks like. So I apologize about that. Yeah, it's always interesting to see what kids try and play solo queue. I have a lot of kids that like to play jungle. They think that's a lot of fun and can learn a lot about the game by jungling. So.
Well, I think it's both with us too. We kind of encourage our kids to get out and play other roles too, because especially when you're starting out, if you only play one, it's very hard to have an understanding of the game. But again, like both basketball coaches, very similar to basketball. If your whole life, if you only play post from when you're younger, you don't have a very good understanding of the game if you don't get a chance to kind of play those other positions and play around, as opposed to just focusing on one area.
For sure. All right, so we did, as Brian said, we did put in a sub this game. We've subbed in Fishy, who is Fisher Marley. He's a freshman for us this year. He's been playing pretty well on our JV squad and in solo queue as an ADC, so we thought we would use this scrim to give him an opportunity to get into the lineup tonight. So we'll see how he does on his main pick, Caitlyn. So that seems to be the main champion for Osage ADCs right now is Caitlyn. So
that's what we notice when we're scouting both of them, and we noticed that very very similar champ pools, which is nice when you can sub someone out. You don't have to change a whole lot between, especially when they're both really talented. That doesn't change a whole lot, but you can again get somebody new, get somebody into the mix, and kind of see what happens.
Yep. And we are entering into the. It looks like we're entering into the 3-minute spectator delay once again. So, what do you?
I guess I wouldn't mind asking for you because I know we're kind of starting to wind down for our spring season. I know you guys compete in the fall as well. What are you looking for most, like your esports year for next year?
I think it's just going to be interesting because this senior group for me really started the program, and they kind of were the heart and soul that is Osage Esports, and so I'm really interested to see some of our younger kids and who picks up the mantle and takes over and kind of takes charge for us. Because, like I said, right now we have kids that they do all the maintenance on the computers and things like that we play on. So I think that's going to be really exciting. Also, hopefully, we're able to replicate our success in Overwatch in the fall, and hopefully keep our Smash team around and see if we can't go from there as far as possibly adding Rocket League or something else in the spring if that opportunity presents itself, or if we just stick to League. How about you guys?
We more of the same. It's been fun, where especially for us this year, we're now it's our second year doing this. We have kids have kind of returned, and with our Hobgoblin and Fallen Saint being seniors, we actually have a fairly young group with everything going on. So everybody else is a sophomore, and then with our Rocket League team as well, we only have one senior. So it'll be fun to kind of see how we'll have a little bit of change, but. And those three seniors that we have do a lot and are big, important pieces in our program. It'll be kind of fun to see who steps up and if we get any new kids. I think that's also the same for both of us, that with esports being so new, that there's a lot of kids who are probably in our schools that are interested but haven't quite tried yet, to see as we kind of get this more normalized in our district and more students aware of the opportunities being offered, to see how many kids jump in and kind of join our programs.
For sure. And I think both of us being at, like you said, small schools, it's just trying to balance giving kids opportunities and at the same time balancing sports and other activities. Because I know like a lot of our kids it's not just esports, we have to share kids and do lots of different things. So it's the balancing act is kind of fun as coaches and for kids, just to see kids have success in all different areas of school.
Yeah, and that's been nice too, I think. And with our program as well too, where we do have, like Fallen Saint, who's, on a college football scholarship next year, who's going to play football. But then we have our Rocket League player, who's Josh Staley, is going to be on a Rocket League scholarship. And otherwise, those two guys wouldn't have probably hung out a whole lot. They're in different circles, and Josh has been involved in a lot of the arts, but not as much the athletics, whereas now you're getting those two together, and they're talking about video games and working on stuff. And a lot of our other kids in our program, where this is the only activity they do, and they're kind of realizing, like, oh, yeah, like you play this, I play this, and they're making a lot of connections to other students throughout the school, which has been a lot of fun.
For sure. Yeah, and I think we can say the same, especially with our young kids. We have 3 or 4 freshmen that have made the comment that without esports, they wouldn't hang out, because we have group chats and stuff for the kids, and they, you've got seniors and sophomores and freshmen all hanging out together, playing games at night, especially with the shutdown right now of schools with the virus and things. So it's esports just opens a lot of doors for kids that I think historically wouldn't have had those opportunities.
That's too where I think even in both our communities are kind of starting to see the value as well, was where you look at, the communication, the teamwork and everything like that. But then whereas traditional sports, it's very hard to go out and like find a bunch of other people to play basketball with, like outside of school, because you have to have the facilities, you have to have the other people and have access to all that. Whereas with esports and competitive video games, all you have to do is just have the stuff that most kids already have at home,
right.
and they're already playing and doing. And now that they have kind of this organized play avenue for it, they can continue and do that outside on their own. Where you'll have a lot. Like I've noticed your team will play together a lot outside, and our Rocket League and League of Legends team play a little bit outside of school, and even like there's tournaments with it being online. I know our Rocket League team just competed in a 2v2 tournament that was actually quotes held in Wisconsin, but it was online, so they were able to compete in that and actually won a couple of games, and it was a lot of fun for them. Where it's very hard to compete in a basketball tournament in Wisconsin. It's not as hard to do that for Rocket League and all of these types of games.
Well, and even you brought up our opportunity to go to Illinois earlier this winter. That we wouldn't. It was a situation where it was a mandatory in-person thing, but in the future, I know like we have some kids wanting to play. Ball State's hosting a digital tournament, and our kids are wanting to possibly do that, and just lots of different opportunities. So, all right, it looks like we're heading into the Rift here. And let's see, do we get an invade this game, or are we just going to sit back and play our normal...
Looks like everyone kind of with like the League of Legends line of scrimmage here, they kind of call it, where everyone's kind of in their spot, kind of getting ready. Is anyone going to kind of test the waters across? We're all kind of checking everything and
doing a little dancing at their buffs, it looks like. So.
Yep.
And it looks like,
a little fun.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like you guys were well prepared for we like to invade that bottom buff. So looks like you guys were well prepared for that. So.
That wasn't our scouting report, but that's what they like to do. And I think that's kind of the one thing where we kind of counter scout each other, where I'm pretty sure you were aware that we were aware of that. But you didn't do that in this game, so it's just kind of fun, where, again, very similar to other sports where we both kind of try to figure out each other's tendencies and scout out and kind of gain the little advantages that you can.
And it looks like both teams are starting red buff this time. Lots of pinging on the map going on right now. It looks like we have a few more spicy picks coming up this game. I know Hootie, you guys left Mordekaiser open, and he said, I want to try a different champion this game. So he's playing one of his personal favorites, Katarina, which I know is also one of Crazy Roger's favorites to play. So it'll be interesting to watch that play between the two of them mid lane.
Again, that's kind of the same thing, where I think it's been fun for both of our teams too, especially like our mid laners, where they have so many different champions. I think we talked about before, like there's 144, 143 champions in the game, so there's a lot of people to play, and both have very wide champion pools that they feel comfortable on. So it's kind of fun to see kind of how they match up and try to guess who's going to pick what the bands. So it'll be interesting to see how those two work, because I haven't seen a whole lot of Lux in the Katarina matchup, so I'm not really sure how this is going to play out.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I know Lux is really powerful early game, and Katarina is a little more mid to late game champion, so we'll see how that works out. And it actually looks like you all went with a little bit earlier game comp this time, and we went a little more late game. So it'll be interesting to see if you guys are able to scale harder than us early game. Or, well, I guess Sion is really... I haven't seen a whole lot of Sion, so... I know he's a fun champion to play, but I don't think I've ever actually played Sion before.
It'll be sad. And that's, again, I think like we talked before, too, when Coach Moke and I were casting on stream last time, where we have experience in the game, but we're by far not super experienced, so there's going to be a lot of matchups and a lot of things that we're not 100% sure about, and this is one of those champions where we're not sure.
Yep, that was a nice play there by Great Vern. Is he going to be able to escape the Sion ult? Nice route there by Lux mid lane.
Good start by Osage again, getting that kill. It was a very nice play. And just again, for those of you that saw what happened with Sion, there's once he gets killed, he actually has basically another little Sion that comes out and deals a whole lot of damage. So you kind of got to be aware of that. You're not done when you get rid of him right away.
Yeah, and the first time, I think the first time I did play against a Sion, I know that I did not know about the ult, and so I killed D-Cyan, and then all of a sudden I died, and I was really confused, but very quickly learned how that ult works. Nice hook there by Be Venomous on the Nautilus. And it looks like Osage playing a little safer in the bot lane with Fisher in there than they were last game with Elijah.
And again, very much like traditional sportswear, even though this is kind of a scrimmage, so it's a little, or even though they're taking it very seriously, probably a little bit, could be some nerves on that part too, where you're kind of trying to just kind of test the waters and see where it is before they kind of start trying to turn it on. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that works for him too. Kind of exciting.
Yep. Yeah, this is only his second varsity match. He had to play for our first season match, and since then he's not been in our lineup. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in this match for us.
A lot of trading in the top lane, both fairly tanky, so they have can play a little more aggressive and have a little more be forgiving. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that happens throughout the game.
Well, and it was interesting. It looks like Chase, when he backed on Renekton, he bought 2 long swords for attack speed, and not sure if that's going into an item or if he's just prioritizing attack speed. Well, looks like a nice camp there by Hootie Plays. Flash out of both. Good route. And it looks like Lux is going to be able to escape.
Yeah, and like you keep saying, the mid laners really testing themselves there because it really looked like Hootie was going to have Crazy Roger there, but nice little play by Crazy Roger to get out of there. But again, kind of puts Hootie in an advantage there. Now it puts more pressure on the mid lane.
Well, and it allowed the Green Devils to prioritize Dragon there because they had mid and bot prio. And nice gank there by Fallen Saint. Good trade back there by Hootie Plays.
Again, one of those little things where you might not notice it, but that play earlier really didn't allow, so Crazy Roger could not get involved, and that really helped Hootie there. So kind of, again, very nice kind of playing ahead and working to kind of keep himself safe there. So again, very intelligent play by Hootie there. You can tell he has spent a lot of time working on this game and really understanding where he can take it. Ooh,
there's the ult. Nice and he got greedy. Got greedy there. I wasn't sure if he was going to or not, but it was a nice barrier and shield there by the Lux.
Again, both of them again are still trying. It looks like a gank top.
Gank top, and Chase does not see it, and it looks like Chase is going to go down. St. Ansgar takes an early gold lead.
Got a nice job answering there by St. Ansgar to kind of even those lanes that they're looking to get behind in, and now starting to even up a little bit more and a little more trading again in the bot lane.
Yep, nice Morgana Q and W there. Again, Raven on one of her signature champions, so this is... And we're starting to see ultimates come online for both teams. Good hook, good W.
But again,
nice play.
As you could tell that Raven is very experienced on Morgana because she saves that shield to be able to get out of pressure and basically negate anything that.
And it looks like
else would have done there.
Looks like Osage might be chasing down, and I'm not sure if Chase sees the. Yep, he does. A 3-man gank top lane. Will Chase and Fire, the jungler, be able to get out? Looks like they will not. Nice chain there by Crazy Roger, the Lux R plus the stun.
See if St. Ansgar can turn that into an advantage to get the Rift Herald there, but again, it looks like Hootie is doing a nice job keeping the pressure on in mid lane.
Well, I think it's just more the style of our mid laners where Roger wants to roam a little more. Hootie's very, very happy just to stay in lane and play on a little more, tankier champions at times if we need him to, just to, really farm up for late game. So And looks like Hootie's in trouble in the mid lane. Oh, good dodge.
Get out of there, and again, kiting around here nice. And Ansgar's putting a lot of time and effort into here.
Oh, and there's the ult. Fire with an EQ on the Jarvan. And it looks like we're both just going to agree to walk away. Maybe. And it looks like we may have a gank coming bot lane. I'm not sure if the Osage bot lane sees it or not. And they pick up a turret plate. And again, trading mid. Hootie plays in trouble there. Clearing some vision.
So far in the early game here, teams seem to be much more evenly matched,
Yep.
I think. Let's say Ansgar has a little stronger early game, which is kind of helping to kind of slow Osage down a little bit this time. So I have to see if they can carry those advantages once we start getting the mid or late game here. But it looks like another trade on top.
Hard trade there. Both, Scion, just so much health. And looks like an ult is used there by the Great Vern. And Scion as well. So both ults expended in the top lane. And Hobgoblin doing a nice job for St. Ansgar so far, pressuring that bot lane from Osage.
Looks like right now, I'll say this again, and every time I've said this, the 2 times I cast, but there's no objectives up, so this is kind of why we get the lull, but it looks like both teams are starting to look for some action, bottom and top lane here now.
Looks like we might have a party bot lane. I'm not sure if what we're doing. Oh, Dragon is up. That is why there is action in the bot lane. So we'll see if Osage decides to collapse. And there's a good stun. Oh, good ult by Raven. Can Osage do anything with it? There's an ult by Hootie Plays. And another ult by Andrew Thayer. And it looks like Osage might go 2 for 0 here. They gave up the dragon, but do get 2 kills. And we may not be done. Hootie Plays with a nice Q there from Caitlyn. Or, I'm sorry, Katarina.
So again, very similar to last game where St. Ansgar got the dragon, but it might not have been worth it for giving up the 2 kills.
And draws a flash there in the top lane. Good trade there from the Renekton. So far, farm is fairly even across the board, except for mid lane. Hootie Plays with about a 20-24 lead. Bot lane, it appears that Fisher is ahead, but with the Nautilus taking the Tarmons, it's basically even at 90 to 93. And it looks like Hootie goes down again. Really playing
that's
well.
One thing with
Crazy
the
Roger.
Lux that is very difficult to play against is with that root that she has. It makes it very easy to chain that root with her ultimate. It can be very difficult for anybody trying to go up against Lux in the laning phase.
So
It looks like St. Ansgar's dropped in the Rift Herald in the bottom lane, which they get him a few towers and put some more pressure bot lane.
lots of action here in the bot lane. Trading, and Fishy gets a kill. Nice R there by Raven on the Morgana.
And she did a very nice job of landing her roots and making it so you can't go anywhere, and especially with Caitlyn and Morgana, they can do a lot of damage from long distance away to burst them down. And it looks like who he plays is doing a nice job of roaming here.
Is he going to be able to find him?
Too far up on lane, but again,
is he going to find him?
That's what we talk about with
not able to find
those. And again, for those that are wondering why, it's like he's right there. Just go get him. Whenever you're in one of the bushes, they call him, the enemy team cannot see you. So even though he was so close and right there, cannot find him. A little luck on the side of Hobgoblin there. Maybe a little skill, I'm not sure, but it's probably a little more luck to have to just find the only bush that did not get checked the whole time.
Yep.
Looking.
That was, even for those that don't really understand League, I think you can find some comedy in that little exchange there. Just hide and seek almost. So, lots of hard trading again in the top lane. Singebag doing a nice job rotating roles for St. Ansgar.
Again, I think we could both attest that the pace of this game is probably a little more what we like to see and coach our groups out of, where now we're 15 minutes and 8 kills, where before at this point I think we're close to 19 or 20 kills at this point. So a little more trying to get objectives, looking to trade. And it looked like St. Ansgar just picked up Riff Herald again, so that'll be a nice objective for us to have 2 of those before the 16-minute mark to hopefully get a little more advantage in lane.
Yeah. And a nice ult there, chain of 2 ults there by Osage. Nice kill, get the kill on the carry, and Raven also picks up a kill. Hootie looks like he might go down in the top. Oh, nope. And another rift picked up by St. Ansgar. They're doing a nice job trading pressure with pressure. So
that was it. Very nice actually by both teams there, with Osage getting the 2 kills on the bottom, but then St. Ansgar being aware enough to drop it up top. And it looks like with that pressure now, Osage might be able to
pick off
turn
lots,
that
maybe.
Might be able to get turn this into Drake.
And it doesn't look like they're looking for Drake. I'm not sure what Osage is doing here. Well, I guess they're able to get the shutdown, and now they might rotate down to Drake. There we go.
Well, it might have been on Crazy Roger's part where he kind of thought they might have been going to Drake and stuck around a little bit more, but Osage did a nice job of finishing that off, and they still actually looks like it might be a team fight here right now with St. Ansgar coming up.
And Osage not really in position for this one. Well, I guess it's a 4-on-4, but St. Ansgar is rotating Scion down, where Osage appears to be staying. Oh, TP into the pit, and they stole the dragon.
Oh, nice play by Hobgoblin there to sneak that in just at the end of St. Ansgar going for an engage.
And this team fight, Osage needs to win this team fight. I'm not sure what's happening. The Jin ult, and everybody walks away. All of that action and nothing doing besides Osage gets a tower, and St. Ansgar is able to take the Drake.
Oh, and a re-engage by St. Ansgar there.
Yeah. Re-engage. They're able to get Great Burn. Now, I apologize for those of you watching on the stream. We've had some issues, it appears, with getting everything going.
A lot of action in mid lane there again.
Looks like we have a pause. Not sure what's going on here.
Crazy Roger must have disconnected.
Okay.
Like he might be back in the game now. So again, another thing too with everybody playing from home, where all 10 people have different internet, so that happens sometimes. Or if you're playing at the same place, usually you have pretty pretty stable internet for both groups, that doesn't happen as much.
Well, and I think that's part of what we're noticing. I don't know about your group, but with more people working from home and the strain a little more on the internet, we've noticed a little more lag and things like that. But that's all something everyone's having to play through and play together and everything else. So I think that's just an unexpected consequence of some of these with all the people working from home.
And I think some of the games have also had a little bit of issues here because, again, more people being at home and not allowed to go and interact with people, more people are turning to video games to play. And so I know last week we had to postpone our game by about an hour because League of Legends was actually not working. And so I think there have been a couple of games we've had a couple hours of downtime where developers are trying to handle the all the extra load that they're with everyone trying to get on and play at the same time.
Right.
That's what it looks like right now. Crazy Roger is having internet issues right now, or it says looks like he's at 5,000 ping, which means that's 5,000 milliseconds for him to get a response out of what he's clicking. So again, where you consider ping in esports is very similar to reaction time in traditional sports. So if you would have to consider playing a basketball game, but your reaction was half a second slower than everybody else, that would be at a big disadvantage. So having a 5,000 millisecond delay in all your reactions would be a very large handicap in any sport you played, but especially in esports.
For sure. Especially on some of the mechanically challenging champions that, these games present. So, yeah, we really have to be careful with that.
It has been nice with all our groups. I think one thing I'd like to credit you and then a little bit us too is I think we actually have a very strong group of schools in North Iowa competing in esports right now, and I think a lot of that can be kind of put on both of our school districts working closely and promoting it with other schools. I know before we had social distancing and all the schools closed down, we were planning on having a League of Legends tournament hosted by you guys, and we're going to have 7 to 8 schools just in our conference competing League of Legends, whereas right now across the whole state of Iowa, there's around 15 schools, so you would make about half the state, in our North Iowa area competing in these games.
Sure.
And so I think that's one thing that's been really nice for our kids in our area, how willing schools are able to kind of give these students opportunities and buy in on this. So that's been nice to see too. Yeah,
and I think it's only going to expand more as computer science becomes a larger and larger part of schools, and the 21st century skills. Well, esports plays really into all of that. So hopefully we continue to see that. And we are back on the Rift, it appears. And looks like both teams are just slowing down, doing some farming.
And before there's any major objectives too. Again, which usually means now that I said that, there'll be a team fight that breaks out soon. So
it'd be interesting to see if we get a team fight mid here. It looks like, there's a ping. Let's see, does Hootie plays and everyone come in on this or not? Yep, it looks like, as you said, here comes the team fight. Looks like a 4-on-3 Osage with 4. Oh, and there's the R. And wow, what a play there by Hootie Plays. That was a great ultimate, followed up by the Jarvan R. And it looks like Osage goes 2 for 0 in that team fight. Now it's 5 men in the mid lane for Osage.
Very nice play by Osage. You saw that a lot in the last game where you guys do a really nice job using Fog of War, where it feels like we might have the advantage, but we just don't have vision, and your team is waiting on the flank and does a really nice job in closing around us and winning those team fights.
And it looks like we might have some more action developing here in the top lane. Maybe not. Maybe in the mid lane. We've got some lane swapping going on. Some different... Right now we have our top and support in the top lane. We've got our jungle and ADC in the mid lane. And it looks like top tower has gone down. And Hootie Plays is trying to split push bottom. Osage looking to go into more of a 1-3-1 style.
So right now, a lot of pressure being put on the map by Osage. If you look, all lanes are getting shoved in for Ansgar, so they're going to have to try to kind of play defense here. And
and it looks like Hootie's been caught out. There's a Luxar and a follow-up R and a flash out, and it looks like a 1-for-0 pick there. I don't think Hootie realized he was sitting on a ward. So.
And that's it again, where there's most of the wards that the other team cannot see. So if you might have been watching, it's like, yeah, you can clearly see it there.
Yep.
Hootie could not, so he did not know that the enemy team knew he was there that whole time.
Yep. And it looks like Osage's mid game did not produce near as large of a gold lead this game, only about 3,000 right now. So it's a much, much closer game than what we had game one. Looks like an engage here mid lane. Nice stun by Raven. And the Nautilus R is not going to happen due to the black shield of Morgana.
Again, now it'll be interesting here where you see that the Baron is up, and so will Drake, the next Drake. So teams will kind of be pick and choosing, okay, which objective do they want to play for? Where are they trying to get advantages? So it'll be interesting to see how this next minute or so plays out.
Looks like a one-on-one skirmish here. Hootie Plays with an R. I'm not sure Hootie wanted to. Probably should have taken that fight.
That will be interesting to see if now Ansgar, if we can turn that into the dragon here. Looks like Osage is working their way down to contest. I know last time it looked like you guys had the dragon pretty well locked up, but then we kind of snuck in. Let's see if Osage can do that this time, and doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Very even game this time, kind of going back and forth, where one team kind of looks like they're starting to take an advantage, and then the other team kind of pushes back a little bit. So it's been much more closely contested this time. Teams trying to get a little priority in the mid lane here. It's kind of going back and forth.
It looks like St. Ansgar might be looking to go for Baron here, or forcing a fight around Baron. Luxar, looks like we got a TP. Oh, TP is canceled.
Here with the new ult. Nice stun by Raven there to kind of help disengage. That's the one thing if you look at B Venus there with Nautilus there, when he watches Hook, a lot of times people, when they have hooks on this game, what Nautilus is actually brings him towards the group. So if he misses, he brings him right into the other team. So he has to be very careful when he utilizes that to make sure that he doesn't pull him into the other team.
Yeah, for sure. Oh. Gosh, that Lux play, very good out of Crazy Roger. He's playing very well on Lux.
end here. I have just been checking with the fog of war, and again, Osage is doing a very nice job using fog of war, where you can kind of see it looks like, okay, they're here, you can see, but if you look at what Ansgar sees, Osage is doing a very nice job of kind of staying out of their vision here.
Yep. And it looks like they're going to send 3 people bot lane after Hootie plays. Or 2 people. See what happens here. Looked like Hootie was trying to bait a dash there. Looks like he's just going to take the 1 kill and get back.
Very nice job where I think Crazy Roger was not expecting him to be there. And again, look, same thing where, again, just making sure they're in a good spot. And well, saying Jack is able to get out of there. And now it looks like Osage is setting up a little bit of vision around Baron and kind of trying to test.
Yep.
Well, St. Ansgar is kind of trying to do the same, just kind of trying to check out and again, kind of starting to get in the late game here. Both teams just trying to kind of feel each other out here, what objectives you're going to prioritize, but trying not to overstep, because that's, as we get later in the game, if you are caught out, your respawn timer is much longer, so it gives the team a much longer advantage if you do get picked up.
Yeah.
And I think with it being as close to the game this time too, both teams are trying to kind of tiptoe around a little bit more, where no one wants to really step out and make that big mistake that swings it the other way. So it'd be kind of
Hootie plays look like he almost got caught out there, but now Crazy Roger might be in some trouble. And Ace in the hole is able to get him, but it looks like a re-engage on the backside.
a lot of knockups there. Osage is trying to get out of there, but they're having a really hard time. But again, just so much hit points and very tanky, or it's very hard for someone to 1v1 him there.
Yeah.
Again, St. Ansgar looks like they'll be focusing on the dragon here, because if you get 4 dragons, that gives you a very large buff for the rest of the game.
It looks like...
And they are at 3 right now.
Nice play there by Hobgoblin.
It looks like Andrew Thayer was when he dodged that, so he might be able to get over here to try to steal this dragon if he can.
Nope. Looks like he's just trying to get out of there.
At 28 minutes, if you look, 11 to 11 for kills, and then 41.1k and 41.4, so very even match here after 28 minutes. Both teams have taken 3 towers, so it's almost as even as you can get at this point. But St. Ansgar does have the Dragon Soul, which
that's a huge advantage.
Give them a little advantage.
Yeah.
Be there set up there on the flank, where again the Baron buff only lasts as long as you stay alive. So if they're able to get a pick on one of the St. Ansgar champions here, that would really eliminate that advantage they got. So it'll be interesting to see now again how both teams kind of play these next few minutes here.
We're now fighting over a red buff, and it looks like we might have a massive team fight break out here.
In the jungle.
And
direction for Cyan. He's really able, if you get a close fight in the jungle like that, just consistently knock up the enemies and really help them come in and then have the other champions kind of come in and finish the job.
Looks like St. Ansgar is going to be able to pressure this in and possibly look to take inhib here. Good stun by Crazy Roger.
St. Ansgar's trying to, nice ult. Hey, Jarvan there to trap him under the tower.
There's a Nunu ult in response.
Able to get away.
And there's a kill. Ooh, good follow-up there on Morgana. This might be the team fight Osage needs if they're going to try and come back, but the Lux are just so powerful. Crazy Roger is doing a very nice job. And the cooldown reduction so quick that Lux ult comes up so fast.
Section there for St. Ansgar. We're talking about how it's so close and how that's one thing when we talked about the objectives, with having that Baron objective there, that really gives you a huge advantage because you can see the minions, how they're all turning purple there. They're much stronger. You're able to take away towers and objectives much faster with that buff.
Yes. And that Baron buff, they use that very well. Now you've got super minions pushing in and two of the three lanes that Osage are having to try and battle off, as well as trying to keep vision and preparing for Elder that's about to spawn here in a minute and a half. Actually, I looked at the wrong timer. Looks like Elder is up in 20 seconds, so looks like we might have a team fight around Elder.
Again, both teams trying to St. Ansgar could secure this Elder. Again, it's a big team fighting buff for them, but then if Osage can, that can really kind of help them to turn this around.
Yeah. Big fight in the top lane. And Hootie plays just not high enough level. He's been doing trying to do a lot of split pushing this game, and it's just not been as effective as in the last game.
So with St. Ansgar's team composition too, having the Nautilus, Scion, and Nunu is a very needy team at this point to try to get through.
And it may not even matter that Osage or that St. Ansgar doesn't have their jungler, as down goes Caitlyn, and it looks like down Morgana may also go down. Oh, good stopwatch there.
A very nice stopwatch to get out of that. Just enough to disengage. There you can see Hootie Place hiding there in a bush, seeing get across, make something happen.
Using the Katarina ult. Osage does not have anyone else there, and that will go to St. Ansgar. And if St. Ansgar plays this correctly, they should be able to end the game here.
Again, this we'll have to see. If you can see with the inhibs gone, they do come back if Osage can hold out long enough, and then really limit super minions to play very defensively here, or try to kind of catch St. Ansgar, because that's one thing that your group especially, I think, has been doing a very nice job of this match, is being able to use that fog of war and try to kind of surprise St. Ansgar when they're maybe not ready for them. So we'll have to see now if they're able to do that with this Baron being started.
St. Ansgar very quickly chunking this down, but if Osage doesn't get their jungler there, it's not really going to matter. See if Andrew Thayer can EQ in. He does EQ in. Does he have it? No, he does not. He's not
Very
able to
close there. Very nice.
Oh, we have a major
Nice
team
play.
fight breakout, though. And St. Ansgar plays that very well. It was very well played by St. Ansgar.
I think at this point, it's just being very difficult. Again, we talked about too with St. Ansgar just being so tanky at this point. Being able to soak up so much damage with the Nada, Stein, and Nunu, where it makes it very difficult to do much.
And it looks like St. Ansgar is going to take game 2. Well played there by the Saints.
It was a very, at the ending score, seems like it was very close, but that was a very, very closely contested game up until maybe the last 5 to 8 minutes there. So very, very nice job by both teams that match.
For sure. That was a very well played game by both teams. And we look at our damage, and Crazy Roger, I think we'd have to definitely name player of the game there for that match. And the Scion also played very well in the top lane. That lane swap worked out very well for the Saints. All right, everyone, it appears that is going to wrap up our stream for tonight. Any last minute things you're wanting to add there, Mr. Berthel?
We appreciate, again, the opportunity to compete with you guys. It's been a lot of fun doing this. Again, I know, like, obviously St. Ansgar and Osage are really big rivals, and we always look forward to competing each other and want to win. But I do really want to say thank you for everything going forward, because I really feel like we have done a lot of this together, building both of our programs, and it's been fun to have you as a colleague and a friend going through this together and kind of figuring it out, and hopefully what continues to be 2 very good programs in esports in Iowa.
That is our hope. That is our hope. So hopefully we can continue to do that and continue to see growth in not only our programs but North Iowa. So, all right, thank you all for checking in. I think this is probably 53. Looks like we had 53 people watching. So this is, I think, by far the most we've had in a stream. So thank you all for checking this out, and hopefully you can see Osage and St. Ansgar play again here very soon.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Have a
Have a great night.